Saturday, September 26, 2009. Metro Manila went about its typical busy routine in spite of the presence of Tropical Storm Undoy. After all, it was just another wet day, mere torrents of the season for Juan de la Cruz. Whatever hassles it may bring, it's just water off his back like usual. But the downpour didn't let up. In time, the city was submerged. And in a blink of an eye, Juan de la Cruz was swept powerless by this raging catastrophe.
Are we alone in the universe? Is there a portal to the past? Can we physically travel through time? These are just a few of the questions that have continued to baffle and bewilder us. Though many have tried to answer them, not one definite conclusion has yet been given. This show will tackle that which is unexpected, unexplainable, and unorthodox. Is it destiny's sleight of hand? Or is it a nudge from God? Or maybe it's simply a matter of science. Chances are, anything is possible. One Saturday morning, Metro Manilans woke up to a gentle breeze and the sweet sound of raindrops over our heads. It's what we usually call bed weather, a welcome weekend reprieve. But the rain became relentless. The sound turned into a rumble. What started out as a welcome weekend break from our daily grind turned into a struggle for survival. For a tropical storm with maximum sustained winds of just 85 kilometers per hour, Undoy left a trail of devastated lives. In its wake, almost 300 people have died. Almost 40 are missing, and more than 500,000 Filipinos were left homeless, forced to seek shelter in evacuation centers. Assessed damages have blown up to 4.5 billion pesos and counting.
Tulungan niyo naman po kami kasi kami wala na po kami makakain, tapos wala na po kami masuotan, tutungis na ng mga anak ko. Parang awa niyo na, tulungan niyo kami.
Yung tubig di pa rin bumababa eh. Tumataas pa rin. Kaya hindi namin alam kung paano na kami bukas.
Nanawagan ako sa asawa ko, nawawalan si Norberto Amura. Noong Martes pa.
Undoy was the 15th tropical cyclone to hit the country this year. In the days leading to the September 26 deluge, the Philippine Atmospheric and Geophysical Services, or PAGASA, issued warnings of heavy rains and some flooding as a result of the coming tropical condition Katsana, Undoy's international codename. Unexpectedly though, as Undoy entered the Philippines early Saturday morning, it dumped a record volume of rainfall. 34.1 centimeters of rain was recorded in just 6 hours, close to the average rainfall for the whole month of September, that was 39.2 centimeters. The last time it poured with almost as much volume was in June 1967. It recorded a 33.4 centimeter rainfall during a 24-hour period. Moreover, Ipo, Angat, and La Mesa dams released water for maintenance on that day. As a result, it caused the worst flooding of Metro Manila and nearby provinces. Areas that were pummeled were Pasig, Marikina, Cainta, Rizal, and Quezon City. Blindsided by the tempest and the sudden surge of water, people were left stranded in the streets. Some families separated by the currents, while most had to climb on rooftops to avoid being swept away. But floodwaters continued to rush in, and the roofs weren't high enough for long.
Kaya sabi ko, paano na lang kung tumaas pa ulit ng tubig, wala kami makapitan. Kung ano bang iniisip ko, siyempre puro bata yung kasama namin eh.
Arlina Soldevilla, along with her children, quickly gathered some clothes and had planned to abandon their house in Rogo compound in Marikina and to take shelter somewhere else. They only managed to execute the first part of the plan.
Paglabas namin ng bahay, hanggang dito na namin yung tubig. Tapos ang lahat ng mga kapitbahay nakita ko dyan sa bahay na yan. Yung isang kapitbahay namin medyo mataas. Nandoon sila lahat sa taas. Mamayang kunti, ang bilis pa rin yung parang pataas ng pataas yung tubig. Pero mo inabot na pati yung balkon nila. Kaya ang ginawa ng mga lalaki ngayon, sinira yung harang ng balkon. Tapos yun doon kami dinaan lahat. Yung iba naman sa kisame. Tapos ang ginawa, mga 12 na yun, doon na kami lahat. Siyempre walang pagkain, wala lahat. Mabuti yung last na taga doon sa kabila na pumunta dito. Lahat tumulay sa sa bubong. Sa bubong na lahat tumulay. Tapos ang ginawa, mabuti may dala-dalang mga biskwit. Yun, inuna na namin pakain yung mga bata.
The tale of survival when chances are returns. It's been more than a week since Typhoon Ondoy wreaked havoc in Metro Manila and nearby provinces. But the devastation wasn't limited to the Philippines, as it also hit Cambodia, Vietnam, and Laos. In our country alone, Ondoy left almost 300 people dead, thousands injured and homeless, and a destruction to property amounting to more than 8 billion pesos. Along with the assessment of losses come the personal accounts of its numerous victims. This is just one of them.
It was still dark early Saturday morning when an uproar roused Arlina Soldevilla from her slumber.
Mabasa ko dahil nag-iingay nga sila kasi sabi ang tubig daw nandiyan na sa may kalsada. Tapos may konti, nanonood pa kami ng TV. Paglabas ko ulit, yung tubig nandiyan na malapit na.
With floodwater surging inside their home at a terrifying rate, Arlina grabbed her 2 nephews and some items, then set out for high ground.
Tubig, nasa hagdan na. Kaya sabi ko sa kapatid ko, yung mga bata, padalhin muna ng damit kahit ilang piraso na pwede lang mabihisan. Kahit sa plastic, ilagay na lang. Tapos tatakbo na nga kami kung saan yung medyo mataas. At saka yung mga kapitbahay namin, yung hindi na malaman kung saan pupunta nga, kung anong gagawin.
They soon found themselves climbing atop their neighbor's 3-story home.
Buti mamayang kunti yung taga doon. Bitbit na yung dalawang pamangkin ko, yung maliit. May lagnat pa yung isa, tapos basang-basa talaga yung mga bata, tapos yung nanginginig na nga yung isa eh. Tapos yung mga lalaki dito na kapitbahay, pinagtulong-tulungan naman na madala din sa taas. Tapos puro basa na nga kami, pati mga bata, kasi wala na nga mabihisan, pati yung mga bag na dala-dala nila na may damit, basa na rin na gusto naming palitan.
Death is a reality that, ironically, we all live with. When all is well, we feel immortal, indestructible. That is, until death comes knocking at our door.
According to Arlina, there were about 30 of them on that rooftop, men, women, and children. They gathered close together for warmth and divided amongst themselves whatever food they had left.
Mga bata, iniyakap na lang. Merong iba o nag-iiyakan na kasi siyempre nagugutom siguro. Tapos yung mayroong nagbigay ng pagkain, wala naman ulam. Ang ginawa namin ngayon, bawat isang bata, kahit 2 subo ng kanin na lang. Sinubuan na lang sila kahit na walang ulam. At least malamnam yung sikmura nila.
For 15 hours, Arlina and her neighbors slugged it out in the cold and held on to that unstable final hope, the rooftop.
Sabi namin, pag yun inabot pa talaga, talagang wala na. Talagang lahat kami patay na talaga. Hindi mo na ito makikita ang mga pader, lahat, hindi mo na yan makikita. Tapos itong bahay namin, tinitingnan ko nga, lampas na dyan sa may, abot na dyan sa may bintana namin sa taas.
Pagka napepeligro ang ating buhay, ang ating natural o likas na reaksyon ay humanap ng paraan para iligtas ang sarili, alagaan ang sarili.
Clinical and community psychologist Dr. Violeta Bautista explains that the survival instincts runs through each person's system and it is genetically embedded in our bodies. Even unconsciously, the body will protect itself from danger as much as it can.
Since we were kids, we were socialized to value taking care of ourselves. And that includes most certainly our life. We secure ourselves. We engage in activities that better improve ourselves. So kasama na doon yung basic need for security.
In psychology, she adds, there is a concept referred to as the fight or flight response. In times of danger, the brain processes the individual's memory and experience to determine his reaction to a situation. To either fight, if he can control the situation, or flight, if he deems it better to avoid confrontation and live another day.
Ngayon, yung reaksyon na fight or flight response, pagka may kinakaharap na peligro ang tao, immediately may physiological reactions na na-activate, magdadilate ang eyes mo. Ibig sabihin nun, para mas makakita ka ng mahusay. Ang pandinig mo ay mas magiging higit na matalas. Ang takbo ng dugo mo ay mabilis na pumapanik patungo sa utak para mabilis rin ang pagproseso ng mga information ng brain. At ang katawan mo ay nagpo-produce ng blood sugar para mas may energy ka. At ang iyong mga kalamnan ay nagte-tense up para ready ka for action. So as you could see, the human body, every human being is physiologically wired up to respond to crisis.
According to endocrinologist Elaine Cunanan, this is where adrenaline comes into play.
Pagka nagkaroon ng mga danger, so our body is, kumbaga meron na rin tayong survival skills na built-in. Kumbaga nilikha tayo ng Diyos with all the sets of survival skills. So one of these nga, in terms of imminent danger, meron tayong tinatawag na sympathetic system. Okay, so the sympathetic system, it involves not only, sinunod sa field ko, yung hormones. So the hormones involved would be what we call adrenaline. Ito pong hormones na mga ito ay ginagawa ng adrenal gland. Ito po yung isang structure ng katawan natin na nasa taas po ng kidneys, the adrenal glands. Aside from that, even yung nerves natin sa katawan ay nagpo-produce ng noradrenaline or norepinephrine. So in times of danger, lumalabas po sila. So ito pong tawag natin nga is adrenaline rush. So nabibigyan po tayo ng parang extra charge.
Comparable to built-in nitro in a racing car, Dr. Cunanan tells us how adrenaline pumps up the human machine.
So pag tumaas yung adrenaline sa katawan natin, ang usual na nangyayari is yun, bumibilis yung blood flow. So syempre pag tatakbo ka, kailangan automatically meron ding increase ng oxygen sa mga muscles natin, increase din ng nutrient supply sa mga muscles natin para talagang mas mabilis tumakbo. Okay? Ang brain din natin, kailangan din ng increase ng oxygen supply at saka nutrients. So ito yung usefulness when in times na tumaas ang adrenaline sa katawan, yun, nagko-constrict yung blood vessels kasi natin eh. Pag ang blood vessels natin ay nag-constrict, bibilis yung blood flow sa different parts, especially do sa important parts ng body natin in terms of the stress response.
Siguro mga 3 days pa kami, talagang basa kami. Walang palit-palit kasi sino dito sa amin lahat. Talagang basa.
Hindi naman po marami ang nag-sakit.
Sa awa ng Diyos kaya yung mga bata merong nagtatae kasi gawa siguro ng tapos may lagnat. Yun ang ng mga bata ngayon dito. Papasalamat ako tapos kaya sabi ko nga after nito siguro kailangan magpamisa kami kung yun talaga maka-recover na kami ng Kahit hindi ito talaga recover na makapundar kami kasi siyempre ang pagpundar ng mga gamit na naman siguro matatagalan katulad sa amin mahihirap. Talagang matagal. Kaya lang ang ibig sabihin yung siyempre nagpapasalamat na pag sa gano'n na palang problema lahat nagdadamayan. Walang magkagalit man or nagkabate.
President Arroyo declared the Philippines in a state of calamity following the double assault of typhoons Ondoy and Pepeng. But just when we thought we've been drowned by insurmountable odds, we're reminded that this calamity-stricken nation is also a nation of heroes.
Ondoy turned the sky dark and there was no sign of clouds breaking for silver linings. People instinctively looked up for salvation and looked at each other for survival. In this colossal catastrophe, we are flooded with tales of survivors. And many survived because amidst the murky, muddy floodwaters, hope shimmered as gallant heroes came forth and risked their lives.
Sabado nakita ang mga sasakyang inaagos ng tubig.
There was security guard Jason de Guzman who put his life in peril to save this woman. Another popular account is that of Quezon City Judge Ralph Lee, who used his jet ski to rescue about 100 people. In Laguna, 2 military men, Private First Class Venancio Ancheta Jr. and Corporal Adriano Regua, lost their lives while saving the lives of others. 5 members of the CAFGU likewise died in separate relief efforts in Laguna.
Ayun, ito si Lando, sabing ganun sa akin, Nanay, ang mga apo mo dyan muna sa inyo, hinatid niya sa amin. Bakit? Ikaw saan ka pupunta? Babalik daw siya sa dulo at marami daw siyang mga kailangan gawin doon. Hindi ko naman alam na siya pala itutulong sa mga rescuer. Hindi na ho kami nagkaalaman yung mga oras na yon hanggang sa lumaki na ng lumaki yung tubig.
Bago po tumasok yung baha. Yung mga po mga kapitbahay yung dalawa. Kasi yung dalawang buntis para may trabaho. Wala po tumutulong. Yung mga gusto ng isang pa. Tapos po isang, pero bago po isang buntis, bumigis ko na mag-iin ako.
And then there's Rolando B., who's now recovering in the hospital after risking life and limb for the sake of others.
Tapos hanggang sa leg na yung tubig, sinagip ako ni Kuya Lando. Hanggang dito ko na yung tubig sa leeg. Tapos ginawa niya sa akin, hinila niya ako na palabas. Para may ligtas lang ako, nilangoy niya ako kasi wala yung mister ko, nasa trabaho.
3-month pregnant Marivic is just one of those rescued by Lando.
Laki ng papasalamat ko kay Lando na niiligtas ng buhay ko. Ngayon ko lang naranasan na gano'n na sa baha.
In the course of saving others, Lando slipped and was carried away by the current.
Dahil mabilis ang tubig mga nag-iiyakan na Yung inililigtas nila yung huli, ang alam ko, tinutulungan nila yung kapitbahay nila na mayroong owner. Nakabitiw ho siya dun sa jeep na yun, doon siya inanod.
He managed to grab a tree and held onto it literally to keep his head above water for 2 harrowing days.
Natutuwa po ako, nagpapasalamat ako kung ganun po ang kanilang attitude sa anak ko. Maraming salamat kung marami siyang natulungan. Marami rin nagpapasalamat sa akin, sa gawa niya. Proud na proud po ako sa anak ko.
Of all the typhoons that came to the Philippines, Typhoon Ondoy was the one that spared no one. Big or small, weak or strong, rich or poor, everyone became vulnerable. In the same way that when it came to helping others, no one was too famous or too unreachable to extend a hand.
Even stars stepped out of their pedestals and braved the mud during Ondoy's rampage to extend a helping hand. Primetime superhero Richard Gutierrez flew to the rescue without his cape.
There was a point pa na babangga kami sa isang bahay dahil sa lakas nga ng agos ng tubig. Dinadala yung speedboat, hindi na makontrol yung speedboat. So, kinailangan ko tumalon. And then si Christine, dumaan siya dun sa kwarto niya, binuksan yung bintana, tinanggal niya yung mga salamin. Tapos, sinalo ko siya.
Raymart Santiago repeatedly plunged into the waters to pull out the helpless.
Matanda, may bata, meron pa nga isa, yung paralyzed siya. Paralisado.
Jericho Rosales cleverly used his surfboard to help out drowning neighbors. There were countless acts of heroism on that day, though most went unnoticed. But as Ondoy pelted us with his fury, he cracked a fountain of hope that the next time tragedy strikes, there will always be a hero to the rescue.
Next on Chances Are, the story of a boy who lost his life saving others. Typhoon Ondoy will go down in history as the typhoon that caused the worst flooding in Metro Manila. But there's another name that will be forever embedded in our memory. Muelmar Magallanes.
Ligalig ako. Dahil, siyempre, biro mula alas 12 ng tanghali hanggang gabi, wala kang anak na umuwi. Parang kampante lang ako dahil araw. Nung maggabi na hanggang nag-alas 6 na wala pa siya, hindi pa umuwi. Hindi na ako mapakali, nanay ka. Kasi sabihin mo na malaki, hindi mo maialis sa isang nanay ang mag-aalala.
Her 18-year-old son, Muelmar, was busy saving lives.
Tapos tinatawid kami doon pa sa unahan. Ang ginawa nila, nagwa sila ng lubid at saka kawayan, tinali nila. Tapos may parang rep siya, tapos nilagyan ng styrofoam para lumutang. Doon kami sinasakay, kami ang huling na nakasakay kasi marami. Tapos nung nakaano na kami, nung malapit na sana kami doon sa tatawiran namin, biglang tumaob yung sinakyan namin. Kasi nagano ng tubig yun lampas ng tubig. Tapos nung pagano namin, nabitawan ko ito kasi hawak ko ito di ba tumaob, nabitawan ko, napaganon siya Grabe ang sigaw ko.
Sige, sigaw si Mincy, tulungan mo ako. Ginawa naman ni Tuto kasi nakita naman din niya, sinisid ang bata. Nakainom yung bata ng tubig. Tapos, inano na nila, inilagay niya sa planggana, itinawid daw niya, sabay inano ang nanay. Sumunod, pagkatapos niya, iniwanan na raw yung magnanay kasi nasa maayos na. Nagtatatakbo dahil nagmamadaling naglangoy dahil yung kapitbahay ni Mincy nagsisisigaw na rin.
Though her beloved son's courage seemed indestructible, his body was. While taking a breather from rescuing people in distress, a wall collapsed behind Muelmar.
Natabunan siya. Bukod pa daw doon, sabi din nung kapatid nung may-ari ng bahay, nung kunin nila si Tuto, may TV pa sa ulo. Makita mo lang ang bangkay. Grab, putik, punong-puno sa putik, Miss Yes. Punong-puno sa putik. Hindi mo talaga po makilala. Pagkakita ko, Miss Yes, talagang nagsisisigaw ako. Tuto, kasi alam ko na siya. Lukso ng dugo. Ina. Kahit ano siguro talaga mararamdaman mo anak mo.
Siyempre nasaktan din ako. Kasi nandoon ako nung nakita namin, umiyak talaga ako kasi sabi ko, salamat sa'yo, kundi dahil sa'yo siguro isa din kaming namatay. Kundi mo kami tinulungan, lalo na yung baby ko na sinisid mo. Sabi ko, thank you. Marami kang niligtas pero hindi ka nakakaligtas.
Coming from a poor family, Muelmar knew his family depended on him to survive on a day-to-day basis.
Ang asawa ko, on-off ang trabaho kasi construction workers lang. Sa ganitong bago dumating itong bagyo, nagtitinda kami ng banana Q. Nangungutang ako para lang mayroon kaming pagkikitaan at mayroon kaming makukuhanan sa pang-araw-araw namin.
On that fateful day, Muelmar put aside his family's needs because he knew that other people needed him more.
Sabi ko, saan ka pupunta? So, bumalik ka kaagad para sama-sama tayo kasi lumalaki at lumalaki ang tubig. Sabi niya, Mama, sandali lang ako. Sagot naman ng ama, huwag ka muna umalis, tulungan mo muna ako. Matinulungan niya, sandali lang, ang urukan lang ang ipinatong sa bubong. Tapos ang patong sa bubong, umalis. Sabi nung ama, saan ka pupunta? Hindi pa tayo tapos. Just, hindi niya pinansin papa niya. Kaya yung pala, nakarinig na siya ng sigaw na tulong-tulong. Kaya nandun na pala, natatrap na sa bubong. Kasi ang bilis ni Sis sa totoo.
The most obvious of answers why we extend a hand is because of empathy. In its broad sense, it is the ability to perceive or share the emotions of others. For example, if you see another person getting pricked by a needle and squirm, you are more likely to react with the same facial expression. In some scientific research on the physiology of empathy, experts say some parts of the brain reacts in the same way compared to the brain of a person who is actually feeling the pain, thus in some way feeling the same sensation, and moreover, to remove that pain from another. Could this be mankind's natural gift to preserve each other? Of course, the right time and the right place is relative to each individual.
If you really feel that there's a strong need of your service or your help, I think that is really the true essence or value of being a hero. Parang it's so selfless. This is something you don't really think about yourself. You think about others.
Extreme situations, however, like the catastrophic flooding of Metro Manila, can easily trigger such empathy, which is why tragedies bring out the best in people.
Best of it all, yes. Siguro redundant yung sinabi ko na positive sense, pero sasabihin natin, it brings out the best in us. Kasi, ibig sabihin dito natin nakikita kung paano nagdadamayan ang mga tao. Kung dito pa lang sa dyaryo, sa pagbasa ko lang din kanina umaga, tapos nakita ko yung dyaryo kahapon, ang daming mga instances na nagtulungan yung mga tao. Kanina sa dyaryo, may nabasa ko yung isang mama, dinala niya yung kayak niya, yung maliit na bangka. Ang dami na sa gitna tao bago nataob yung bangka. Or yung dito sa mga sundalo natin, na mga bayani, nakasagip na ng 20 katao o 30 ba yun? Mga 30 tao bago siya mismo, no? Na natangay ng alon. Yes, it does bring out the best in us. Kasi ito, nakaugat ito doon sa tinatawag natin Filipino value system.
According to Professor Felipe Jocano from the University of the Philippines, while culture plays a significant role in molding heroism, religion has strengthened it further. The Philippines, a predominantly Christian country, believes in the teachings of the Bible. The greatest commandment of Jesus is to love one another. This commandment for thousands of years has been embedded in the Christian values and culture.
Napasukan din ito ng bahagi siyempre ng relihiyon, katulad dito nang pumasok ang Katolisismo at ito yung mga sistemang etika na tinuturo sa mga mamamayan, edi nagkaroon din ng karagdagan dito yung pakiramdam ng pagiging kabayan.
Merong bahagi ng ating pagmamahal sa kapwa na natutuhan mula sa ating kultura. Meron ring bahagi nito na likas sa atin. No, sinasabi nga ng pananampalatayang Kristiyano na ang tao ay nilalang ng Diyos na wangis sa Kanya. What we're saying is human beings were created in the image of God. Now, if this is true, di yung nakikita mo, bahagi lang ng disenyo ng Diyos sa atin.
The Bayanihan spirit lives on when Chances Are returns. Every cloud has a silver lining, and every tragedy teaches us something, and inside every person is a hero within.
In the aftermath of Typhoon Ondoy's devastation, groups from all sections of society mobilized themselves to aid the victims of tragedy. Media organizations use the breadth of their reach not only to disseminate information, but to aid in rescue and relief operations. This includes the GMA Kapuso Foundation, that is still open for donations and volunteers. Help came in all forms. Donna Pangilinan Simpao, a resident of Southvale Subdivision in Alabang, simply started preparing food.
Parang I wanted to do something other than just maawa. You know, you wanted to go beyond pitying them and really go as in the extra mile. We did something very, very simple that everybody can do. And I know there are other heroes that can be featured, but I guess the simplicity of what we did can really be replicated. I texted my neighbors. I said, who's willing to send food? Ako na bahala mag-pack, sabi ko sa kanila. So I texted several of them, and some gave money, and some sent their cooks.
Soon, she was unknowingly rallying the whole community.
So nangyari na malengke sila sabay-sabay. One of our helpers and the helpers of the other, they went and they bought. And then we said, let's make it environmental friendly dahil nakita natin na ang dami ng trash. So we decided to wrap it in banana leaves. I asked them, the neighbors, I said, kung padala kayo ng tao dito, your kids, whoever, we will all repack and it will help.
Gwendolyn Pang, Secretary General of the Philippine National Red Cross, noted that the Filipinos' immense concern for others stems from his sense of community.
This kind of trait, or you say sometimes being a hero, is really, should be coming from within. Innate, no? Na dapat meron talaga tayo nun. Meron kang puso na para tumulong. We have this value to help others.
As in every Philippine crisis, the Filipino trait of bayanihan stood out once more.
At saka, kung papansin-pansin mo rin yan, kahit makabagong panahon na ngayon, kahit bagong siklo na, may mga maraming bagay sa ating kultura na hindi pa nawawala kahit may bagong teknolohiya, kahit may bagong kaalaman, kahit may exposure na sa ibang kultura. Hindi pa rin nawawala ito kasi ito yung napaka-importante para sa atin. Yung konsepto ng bayanihan, nakaugat doon, kaya ang root word bayan. So, ibig sabihin, ang tao, ang nasa isip, nakatanim sa isip ng tao, yung pagiging bayan, yung pagiging bahagi ng isang bayan, isang grupo, isang komunidad. Yung konsepto ng bayanihan ay nakaugat doon ulit sa konsepto ng kapwa. Na ikaw, ako, ay hindi nahihiwalay. Magkakaisa tayong dalawa. Kapag ipapaliwanag mo sa ordinaryong mamamayan, magtataka yan sa'yo sa tanong mo. Kasi hindi yan pinag-iisipan pa, hindi yan pinag-uusapan, ginagawa yun.
Sabi nga nila, crisis brings out the best in people, no? So, very surprised. Kasi there's just this parang willingness to do my part. Makes you really proud, you know, of being part of this giving and compassionate race.
This country, for sure, will never run out of storms to weather, nor hurdles to overcome. But as long as we look inside ourselves and look after each other, we will be able to rise above the challenges, always.
There are many sides to a story, and people have their own versions of reality. When something remarkable happens, people's interpretations will always vary. Because in the grand scheme of things, chances are